Hey guys, this is Sebastian with Team Kuribrohs, and in front of me I have Thomas Rose, the one, the only. What did you do this past weekend?
I went to YCS London, and you'll never guess which deck I played.
Oh, come on. Was it Mermail?
It was not Mermail,
Okay.
but it does still play Sekka's Light.
Okay.
So yeah, obviously I was there with my BA deck and got top 32. Ended up being knocked out by Mirko on his unstoppable rampage through the top cut. It was a really fun match, but congrats to him. Let's get into the deck profile.
Perfect. Right.
I played Baba, Seer, Calcab, just one Libic, Alec, 2 Farfers, Graph, and 2 Scum. So it's 10 Burning Abyss monsters total with 8 different names. Wanted to keep it really low. I like opening with hands that have 2 BAs and ideally no more than that. Obviously, some of them are really important. Mostly the others are just having a set of different names so that you've got ones in hand that you can special summon.
Some of the other lists this weekend played 2 Alec and 2 Calcab. Did you ever feel the need for either of those?
I'd understand that they would probably be pretty high up the list of ones to add in extra copies of. I just didn't want to play any more than 10, so I never really considered it.
Okay.
3 Rhino Warrior is more copies of Graph, so really important, and the one of Tour Guide.
Of course.
And then we get into some other level 3 extenders. Where is he? Where is he? There he is, the snake. So 2 Tsushinoko and 2 Jackalope. These were really good. I was thinking before we saw the Soul Fusion cards coming out, I was really wanting there to be any level 3 danger monster so that I could play Jackalopes and one of the new level 3s as a little extender engine. And then the level 3 turned out to be Tsushinoko, which was absolutely perfect for BA. So they're just great. Like, particularly in this deck where I can start my turn by playing anything that I need to play from my hand, so they'll always discard either themselves or something that I want in the grave. Just worked perfectly for me. Next we have a couple of Gallus. You can probably tell from all the 2-ofs that this is a deck with Hydrolanders. I wanted to diversify which extenders I was playing. Gallus has always been really great, getting a little bit of burn damage, putting himself onto the field. Did unfortunately hit a couple of Sekka's Light over the weekend, but it shouldn't happen too often, and you just kind of suck it up when it does. We have 1 Rescue Cat.
Right, why 1?
So 1 of Rescue Cat is because I wanted to play precisely 6 normal summons. The normal summons that are already in the deck are the Tour Guide, 3 Rhino Warriors, and 1 Graph, because you always want to normal summon him if possible. And I was just having a look at the percentage chance of opening with 1 or more than 1 normal summon. The improvement from 5 to 6 was quite significant, but if I played a second Rescue Cat, I found that it would increase the chance of opening multiple normal summons quite drastically. I think it was from 21 up to 28%, and I didn't want to take that hit, so just played the 1.
Okay.
Next, we're done with the level 3s, so we've got Fairy Tale Snow, obviously great alongside Hydrolander, almost always the card that you want to be sending with your Beatrice, and it's good at not letting you die. I chose to play the level 6s for this event, so I had the 1 Sulcius and 3 Malicious. If you mill this with Dante, you've probably just won that game. He's absolutely mad, getting you link climbing up into the bigger monsters in your extra deck. I guess, yeah, technically there's also the hard rank 6 play if you get these 2 out, but that's typically a play for going first, and I was choosing to play second, so I don't think I ever summoned Beatrice with these 2 in the whole event. And now we have some big boys. Hydrolander. This card is absolutely mad. Yeah, I've had to build my deck a little bit specifically to be able to incorporate him. I do not regret that. The payoff that you get for having this is absolutely worth building around. I played
Card strong.
1 copy of BLS.
Okay, that's dropped down in number.
Yeah, it's mostly just there for if I did have to go first, I would have something that I could search off the Isolde play if I found myself with Dante and Malicious. I didn't summon him very much, and more often, I certainly had him dead in hand more frequently than I summoned him, so I'm not sure where I stand on this going forward. The Hydrolanders were great, this wasn't.
Okay.
And I played one copy of Dark Arm Dragon.
Right. How was this weekend? Because this is not something I've seen in most Burning Abyss lists.
If I could play 3, I would play 3. It's absolutely mad. I really love this card. I mean, for one, he's Dark Arm Dragon. How iconic is this card? It was weird finding how many people clearly had joined the game since this was last a part of the meta. I had a couple of people obviously pick it up and read it when I play it, and then pick it up and read it again when I activate his effect for the second time. There was one guy who I used Dark Armed against him 6 times in one turn, just completely cleared his board. It's the only downside is the summoning restriction, needing exactly 3. Sometimes it's dead if you get to the end game, but you solve that by not going to the end game and just killing him quickly.
Yeah.
Next up, we have, inspired by Car's List from Utrecht, all 7 kaijus.
Right.
These were supposed to give me a really big edge in the Sky Striker matchup, and then I didn't play Sky Strikers until the top cut and lost to them. So, in theory, they should have been really good for that, but it didn't come up for me. Fortunately, they're always pretty good against everything. There's generally something that you get value from tributing for a kaiju. They were really good in my round 11 feature. I was staring down a Dweller and a Gumbler, and I was able to tribute the Dweller at the start of my main phase. I just said draw standby main, didn't activate the Dweller because he'd seen my hand for Aquadolphin in the previous turn, so he wasn't expecting a kaiju. I just tribute the Dweller, triggered the Gumbler, and was able to go from there. But yeah, kaijus were pretty solid despite not seeing the matchup that I was playing them for. And finally, 3 Seconds Light.
Yeah.
This card's mad. Sometimes you have to side it out if you're playing against something with back row, but otherwise it is pretty much the best card in your deck. It's like Graceful Charity, but you only lose 1 of the 3 draws instead of 2. Yeah. On to the extra deck. We have a cool token that I was given by Dan Neville. Thank you very much. I really like it. It's the Beatrice background token. Yeah. Boral Sword, really good for killing people. Bomber Dragon, really good for killing people. Firewall Dragon, kind of there so that you don't get killed. I don't ever summon this. It's just for cherries in the side deck. I was really scared of FTK. Like, I know that with my main deck, I guaranteed lose game 1 to that deck. So I guess I sort of considered it in the side deck. I was tempted to just not even consider it and accept that it was going to be a loss. I'm not sure whether that's correct or not. I'll need to think about moving forward whether I even try and beat FTK with this deck, because I'm not sure that it can. So that's an interesting one to think about, but for another day.
Yeah.
Trispina, this was really good. I played against True Draco once and Altergeist 4 times in Swiss, and this is the most important card in your extra deck against those matches. I can't believe I didn't play it for Utrecht. It would have made my life a lot easier. Triple Burst Dragon, supposed to be really good for Sky Strikers, but I didn't play against them very much. Decode was great. The 3 Nightmare monsters, these are obviously like maximum utility, and they get really good value if they're discarding either Malicious or a Danger monster. Isolde, didn't summon it very much, it's fine. Underclock Taker, neat for being able to go Underclock Beatrice. Most often I would do the Nightmares if I was going first, but I didn't go first very often anyway. One of Mermaid, just for having a down arrow off these. And I think there was a match or 2 where I summoned it to get an extra name in graveyard for the Hydrolander, which was really neat.
Yeah.
2 Dantes, you mostly don't need the second one, but it's useful to have, and a Beatrice.
no Purple Dante.
Did not play Purple Dante. Purple Dante is okay, but Beatrice doesn't die very often, and the only matchups where Purple Dante is really good are Altergeist and Sky Striker. And if you're playing against Altergeist, this ends up back in your extra deck. If you're playing against Sky Striker, they steal it and then they link it away. So the matchups where Purple Dante is good, it never gets summoned anyway. So it was the card that I cut last minute for Firewall Dragon, but I didn't miss it. I think my Beatrice died once in the whole tournament and triggered its effect. And I was still able to summon regular Dante from my extra deck. He's a link material, he gets back a BA from grave. Yeah, it was fine.
I suppose most people, just the fear of the Purple Dante means they won't kill it.
Yeah, I think that certainly plays into it, but a lot of the time, they don't really have an opportunity to kill it. Either they're so far ahead that it wouldn't matter anyway, or you're in control of the game and the Beatrice doesn't die unless you link it away yourself.
Okay. Right, let's see.
In the side deck, we have 3 Droll, 3 Reaper. I was scared of FTK. In the end, I was lucky and I didn't have to play against them. I did play a lot of Altergeist, and that ended up being some of my 2 losses in Swiss. 2 of the 4 Altergeist I had to play against, but this was just because I'd heard how popular the deck was going to be and I was scared of it. Also played Ghost Ogre. It turns out this wouldn't really do anything against the more popular build of the FTK, but it was there just in case it was relevant. Probably not correct. And then the side of the other half of my side deck was brought in loads. I played 1 card Destruction, 3 Twin Twisters, and 3 Red Reboot. You side in all 7 of these against anything that's back row heavy, so that you don't get locked down by floodgates.
Yeah.
This is just there to give you an extra chance of drawing into these if you don't open with one. And it's also neat that it works really nicely with all the cards that you're playing in the main deck anyway, so even if you don't have access to Twin or Reboot, just drawing card Destruction, you're usually going to get some extra value from what you discard.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
Yeah, that was the deck.
Any other comments you'd like to make about the deck? Perhaps what you'd change going forward, or...
I'm not sure how the Kaijus performed, so maybe I'd think about whether I even need those. But then the deck gets really weird of having kind of no interaction for what my opponent's doing, and I don't know how I feel about that. Need to give a big shout out to obviously all the guys on the team. We were representing really well there, managed to get 4 players into the top 32, which was super solid when we only had 8 entries into the main event. Shout out to Usman for lending me a Firewall Dragon. I left mine at home because I didn't think I was going to be playing it, so he had me covered on that one. Shout out to sponsor Card Market, go there for your single cards. And a big shout out to Juliana, my girlfriend, for being really supportive over the whole weekend and encouraging me to keep going to these events and trying to do well.
Right, well, you have done well. Congratulations, Tom. Thanks for the profile.
Thank you.